Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. So far, beautiful day here in the Ozarks. A little cooler, but still not bad. As you can see, the sky's looking pretty good. I don't see any trails being sprayed into the sky just yet, but you know how it is. It'll happen eventually. A lot of stuff still happening, moving and shaking there in the Middle East, and I don't want to, beat a dead horse, but I really think that there's more to what's going on. I think there's more. The importance is much greater, I think, than a lot of people realize. I think it's just, well, it's Syria. They've been having problems for years, and yeah, whatever. And I could be wrong. It's very possible that I'm wrong. I am every so often. But anyways, I really think that there's some significance going on at play there. Israel, as we had said, has moved into parts of Syria, and now their military forces are less than 10 miles from Damascus. And they say that they're not giving land back that they're taking. That's now Israel's land. The United States is there, Turkey is there. It's funny because all three of those are kind of allies, sort of, part of, you know what I'm saying. And yet, when they're in Syria, they're all working independently and taking as much land as they can. Turkey says that they're not going to allow Syria to be just broken up into different, regions and factions, and it's going to stay all one big country. So we'll see how that all works out. The Iraqi government says that they have intelligence that they believe that these militia terrorist forces plan on moving into Iraq and trying to do the same thing there. I know Iraq isn't a strong, stable nation, but I don't think it'll be quite as easy for them there. We will see. On the home front, it's pretty much all the same stuff that you've been hearing about for days. BLM, they protested last night. Nothing like they did 4 years ago. It was just a couple hundred people there in New York. And it was pretty much just a protest, not a riot. It doesn't seem like that they have quite the energy to do what they did 4 years ago over George Floyd, but who knows, maybe. It's possible this could build. And of course, if you're not paying attention, this is all over the Daniel Perry case of him getting acquitted. Who knows? This whole deal with this shooter, this United Health guy, CEO shooter, something just is off about it. It just seems really strange. Who knows? Maybe this guy that they say they have is the actual one. But it's weird. There's little things about the guy's face, his eyebrows and stuff that don't match to the picture that was taken in surveillance. All of it. It's just a little strange, but who knows? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something big, but we'll probably never figure it out. I think the thing that we have to just keep focused on, folks, is that it's all continually moving forward, okay? Regardless of Trump getting into office, regardless of, what's going overseas, Taiwan and China's done its little blockade and surrounding Taiwan again, threatening to, shut Taiwan down, and Taiwan is saying that this could be the real one. There's just all kinds of stuff, H5N1 spreading around, the economy's doing this all the time, and well, it's always something. And I want to point out that if it seems like it's chaotic and confusing, it's because it is. But we also need to remember that the Most High, God the Almighty, He's not the author of confusion. So if there's a lot of chaotic and confusing things that are happening, it's not Him necessarily that's authoring it. It shows that Satan's power is growing because we are closer and closer to the end. He's the prince of the earth, and he's making his final, stand, basically. And we're getting closer and closer to that time. So we have to, yes, continue with our physical preparations. I talked about this yesterday. And I saw that several of you were saying how you are very prepared, that you have taken this serious. You've been working for the last several years of building up your preparations, of developing your skills, becoming self-sufficient, and that's great. I want to really, give you a pat on the back for that. I hope that more and more of you keep doing that. We also have to work on our spiritual preparations. It's easy to get caught up just in the physical world because that's what we live in, right? That's what we exist in. But we're also spiritual, and there's also, and I'm not talking about some new agey metaphysical stuff. We have a soul, and everything that we're seeing happening is just a physical manifestation of what's going on in the spiritual world, the spiritual warfare. It's happening, and we have to also acknowledge that, and then acknowledge that it's going to get harder and harder for us. There's more confusion. There's more I don't know. There's more contention amongst people, amongst believers. They're not getting along. There's a lot, and we have to recognize that, and recognize that, we have to have a preparedness plan for that stuff too. I talk often about your preparedness plan, right? What's the first thing you do to go into action if the grid goes down? You're at work and you hear about a nuclear detonation on the East Coast. What's the first thing you do? Where do you go? How do you react? That's your preparedness plan. What's your spiritual preparedness plan? What is it? Is it just having enough hope and faith that you're going to get through it, or are you actually doing something about it? Are you, spending time in prayer and just consuming, not just reading, consuming scripture? Are you fasting? Are you spending quality time with other believers so that you can have that iron sharpening iron with each other? Are we doing those things? Are we openly talking to each other in our little fellowship, whatever you want to call it? Are we talking? Are we understanding that Satan's going to sling his arrows at us, and he's going to try to tear us apart, and he's going to try to tear us down, and we have to be prepared for that? Are you working towards that kind of preparedness? Some of you are going to say, I don't believe in God. I'm not into this kind of stuff, and that's your choice. That's between you and the Father. The rest of you, the majority of you, know what I'm talking about. And what's going to be the most difficult is not just the overt evilness. We've seen the overt evilness, or at least we've seen it start over the last few years. The evil things that are being done publicly and praised. To be honest with you, that's a little bit easier to deal with because you know what it is, you see it. But we're also going to be seeing more and more of this false light, this false truth, this false peace, and we have to be prepared for that. I repeat this often, where Yeshua said that the level of deception will be so great that if it were possible, that even the very elect could be deceived. That's saying a lot. You better be hoping that you're part of that very elect, and those that are truly sold out, those that are truly chosen, that's not just speaking the words, but they're actually doing it and living it. But you better be pretty solid, because the level of deception, and we're seeing that all the time. We see all these things that they look good. They look pure, they look holy, look like someone's doing something good, and then find out that that's not the case. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. We have to be solid, because though that kind of stuff, that's going to get worse. It's quite possible that in the physical world that things will appear to be better for a while. That things will appear to be more peaceful and more financially stable and more freedom and stuff like that. But is it going to be true and real? Is it a deception for, you know, other things to happen? I don't know. But we have to be prepared for that stuff too. This isn't just physical preparedness. This isn't just your beans and your rice and your bullets and your Band-Aids and all that kind of stuff. This is spiritual warfare, folks. And we have to continually prepare for that. You need to get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.